Hey everyone, Josh here from House Guitars, and I'm coming to you from my living room today, not the workshop. And this is the first video in what I hope to become a regular thing, where as I finish off new instruments, I hope to give you a good look at them through the video, as well as just some brief audio clips so you can hear what the guitar sounds like. And for a while now I've been getting people asking me if I could do audio clips, and it's just one of those things that's taken me a while to get to, being a one-man operation. There's a long list of things I want to improve on and develop, and I'm finally getting to the stage where some of this can be worked on as far as the audio video stuff. So there's still lots of room for improvement. I am fairly new to this, so you're hopefully going to notice the quality and such improving as I do this. But today I'm really pleased to introduce to you this brand new guitar, which has just been finished this week, and it is by far one of the most visually stunning guitars that I have built to date. And this is my Grand Auditorium model. It's what many builders would probably call a small jumbo, 15.5 inches across the lower bout. Great mid-sized guitar. It's the second most popular shape I build, next to my OM. And this one has got a lot of custom features on it, and just the main thing that makes this guitar so stunning is the matched set of master grade Koa top, back, and sides. And so I just want to give you a closer look at the details on this guitar, and then I'll just give it a little strum for you so you can hear what it sounds like, and we'll go from there. So the first thing that really captures people's attention with this guitar is the headstock, and it is a new headstock shape for me. This is the first time I've used this shape, and it was a special request from the customer. He wanted something that would result in a very straight string pull, and he sent me some sample pics of other guitars he had seen that had this style of headstock, and so I came up with this design, and I'm very pleased with how it's turned out. The logo here that you see is black mother of pearl, and it's kind of the theme of this guitar is kind of the dark coloring, which you'll notice as we take a look at it. The other thing you'll see with this guitar is the trim is all zircotti, and it's this really beautiful piece I found. Everything on this guitar came from a single board, and the figure is just incredible. This piece of wood had about twice as much of the black spider webbing as I would often see, and I was just really pleased I could use that for this guitar. The other thing you notice with the headstock is the vintage style Waverly tuners with snakewood buttons, and we were looking for an option for the tuning machines that would complement the Koa, and the snakewood buttons seemed to be the best choice that we could find. And I'm really happy that we went with the Waverlys. They're lightweight, and overall this guitar is coming in pretty much exactly at 4 pounds, and it feels like a really nice, lightweight, responsive instrument. So the next thing you see here is the nut, and this is black tusk. And again, the client requested specifically that we use a black material, and I prefer the black tusk over some of the things like black buffalo horn, which is just too soft in my opinion. And although tusk is a bit softer than bone, it is consistent and doesn't have the imperfections that some of the other horn materials have. And I'm quite pleased with how it looks and how it works, and especially how it fits with this guitar. It just works really well. So going down the fingerboard, there's lots of that nice figure in there, and get down to the 12th fret, we have a nice black mother of pearl maple leaf inlay, and the frets here are the gold EVO fret wire, so they're harder than nickel silver, but not quite as hard as stainless, so I can still work them really easily with regular and diamond fretting tools, and a very popular option I choose to use on lots of my guitars. So coming down to the body, beautiful set of high figure Koa, black mother of pearl rosette, and you'll notice that the whole guitar is trimmed with this nice green purfling. And that's something I like to do, is use colored purfling on my instruments, and green is by far the most popular color. So there we have it. I'm just going to flip the guitar around now so we can take a look at the back. You can see the beautiful figure in the sides of the guitar as well. So this is a matched set of Koa. If you took a look at the back and the front at the same time, you'd see that the grain is virtually identical, being cut from the same board. And this guitar features a matching Ziricotti back strip with the green purfling. That goes right down the back all the way to the tail. I actually haven't used many back strips, but I think it's a feature I'll start using more. Really like the way it's turned out. The neck, one piece genuine mahogany. There's actually some figure in the neck. And I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera, but it is there. The carved volute at the back of the headstock, and the vintage style Waverly machines. The whole guitar is finished in a hand rubbed oil based finish, which gives a matte or satin style finish. And this is something I offer on guitars that have that are all hardwood, so either all mahogany or all Koa. And this is also the same finish I generally use on my guitar necks, and it gives a wonderful satin feel. It's super thin and also easy to apply. A couple other things I want to point out just in general about the Grand Auditorium guitar. My standard scale length on all my guitars actually is 25.4 inches, but I also use some longer and some shorter scale lengths, and this guitar features a 25.7 scale length. I call it my fingerstyle scale length. A scale length popularized by Kevin Ryan. A lot of his guitars were made at 25.7. Just a little bit extra length, and that comes in handy, especially if you like to tune down. Maybe get a drop D or some dadgad. It gives you just a little extra scale length, a little more tension, without going full baritone, getting into the 26 scale plus. Another just kind of unique thing about this guitar is it has a 1 and 13/16 nut and a 2 and 5/16 string spacing at the bridge, so a little wider than typical. Typical I build 1 3/4 to 2 1/4, but I'm noticing these days a lot of people are really gravitating towards the wider fingerboards, just a tiny bit wider and just a tiny bit wider at the bridge. And again, that's going to be more for fingerstyle players than flat pickers, but that's one of the things, if you're ordering a custom guitar from me, you can pick. Scale length, string spacing, those kind of things in general can be changed at no extra charge, and that's one of the advantages to having a guitar built rather than trying to find one off the shelf from a factory or going to a custom shop and maybe having to pay extra for those upgrades. I don't charge extra for those things. That's just included as part of the process. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, houseguitars.com. Also check out my Instagram. That's where you can see the most up-to-date work. I try and post something almost every weekday as I'm in the shop, just a little something as far as what I'm working on. And yeah, in the States, you'll find a nice selection of my guitars at Paramount in Wisconsin. Ken Fox has been dealing my guitars there for, I want to say 14 or 15 years, and he's a really great guy. He can take custom orders if you're in the US, and really encourage you to check out his site, especially if you don't want to wait. My wait list is anywhere from 8 months to a year typically, depending on when you're ordering. Also a shout out if you saw that really nice guitar stand I had here. My buddy Zach here in Ontario, A1 Stands. He's making these things, highly recommend them. If you need a nice stand to display your guitar or for photography purposes, check out A1 Stands, and I'll put a link in the description. So thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to tune the guitar up, and I'll just play it just a little bit. I'm a builder, I'm not a player, but I'll just strum a few notes, pick a few notes, so you can get just a little idea of what this guitar sounds like.